So the Desmos video hinted at both of these, but these are the two I wanted to show you a little bit more detail. A polygraph is super easy to make. You just need, I think it's 16 graphs, and here are the 16 graphs that I picked. Um, and then what the computer will do, what Desmos will do, is all the kids sign in, and then Desmos pairs the kids up, and they don't know this is an anonymous game. They don't know who they're paired up with. They see a name, but it's not the actual name. And then one person is going to choose a graph and to be, it. So let's say I chose this graph right here to be it. Then the other person has got to pick which graph I chose. So here's what the screen would look like. So one person has picked a graph. Okay. So let's say this is the graph that I picked right here. The other person has got to ask me yes or no questions. So I can answer them, and that allows them the ability to rule out some of the graphs. So if this was the graph that I picked and my partner asked me, does the parabola open up? And when I say no, well, they go and then cancel out all of the graphs that open up. Is it symmetric to the y-axis? Again, if this was my graph, I would say no. So they would go then and rule out all the ones that are symmetric to the y-axis. So that's how we narrow it down, and they eventually get to the right graph, hopefully. You'd be surprised how hard this is. And the problem, and you'll see quickly, is that the kids do not know the vocabulary. So what I started doing was put a list of vocabulary words on the board that they should be using in their question asking. Um, so anyway, it's created lots of good discussion. Here's a marble slide that I did. The idea behind marble slides is that the kids have some stars, and then they have a marble, and they launch the marble. And once the marble runs over the stars, you wipe the stars out, and that's considered success. The problem is, of course, that I'm going to give them a slide where the marbles will not get to the stars. And so, what they're responsible for doing is going over here and moving this graph. Let's see if we move it down 3. If we move it down 3, then when we launch the marbles, now we have success. And this can get quite challenging. I mean, just depending on, you can have them have to reflect it. I did one this year. Um, you get the idea, I think. I did one this year where at the end I put one where it had no curves at all, and they could add their own curves. You can also do domain restrictions. If I wanted the marbles to stop, you can put domain range restrictions on here. That's a lot of fun. Let's see if it's this one. No. Anyway, so yeah, and there's lots of these already made. I mean, so you don't have to do that one. All you do is go to here, and they probably have, there's one right there that Desmos made. And if Desmos made it, it's probably better than one I would make. But it deals with sine and cosine. So, and yes, you can take the ones that Desmos made and you can edit them if you don't. I mean, if you think something's too hard, or you don't teach it exactly like that, then you can easily edit this. It's not a problem at all. So anyway, that's what was it? Polygraphs and marble slides. Two pretty fun activities that will check your students' understanding of what it is they've just learned. Great review games.